Lily, a girl who grew up in one of Brooklyn's poorest neighborhoods, never believed her life could be anything more than hardship and survival. Every morning, she woke to the sounds of honking cars, neighbors arguing, and her Aunt Martha's worsening cough, the only family she had left. Life didn't spare the weak, and Lily had learned early how to be tough just to get by. But everything changed on one fateful night. Desperate to save her dying aunt without a single dime to her name, Lily made a reckless choice. She tried to rob a well-dressed stranger in the street. What she didn't expect was that instead of being arrested, she was the one taken. And from that moment on, she was thrown into a story no one would believe. A story where love began with a robbery. In a shabby room buried deep in Brooklyn's slums, Lily curled up on a creaky wooden bed beside her Aunt Martha, a frail woman scrubbing clothes with blistered hands. Above them, a tattered roof full of holes leaked rainwater every time it stormed, turning their shelter into a shallow pool. "Hurry up, Martha. I'm not paying for wrinkled laundry," a harsh voice rang out from the yard. Aunt Martha bowed her head and kept scrubbing, even though her hands were raw and pale from the soap. Lily clenched her jaw. She had seen her aunt mistreated and underpaid for years, but it still made her blood boil. Unable to hold back, Lily snapped, "If you want clean and crisp clothes, maybe wash them yourself, and if you're hiring help, at least pay her what she deserves." The neighbor glared at her. "If you're so smart, why don't you get a real job and feed your aunt?" Lily's fists tightened. That's exactly what she planned to do. She walked from one store to another, fast food joints, retail shops, tiny diners, only to hear the same line, "Sorry, no experience, no diploma, no job." By sundown, Lily dragged herself home, heart heavy. But what she found made her freeze. Aunt Martha collapsed on the floor, coughing violently, blood dripping from her lips. "Marthy!" Lily screamed, rummaging through drawers and shelves, only to find a wooden box with a handful of coins. Desperation swallowed her whole. As night fell, Lily wandered the streets alone, aimless, hopeless, until she saw him. A tall man in an expensive coat, his wristwatch gleaming under the streetlight. Without thinking, Lily reached into her pocket and pulled out her small knife. "Stop!" Lily stepped in front of the man, eyes cold, rusty knife steady in her grip. The stranger halted, raising an eyebrow as if the scene were nothing but a joke. "What is this, your idea of making a living?" "Don't push me. This is a knife, not a toy," Lily snapped, her knuckles white around the handle. "You think this is how to survive?" he said, unfazed. "I'm not reacting because I can tell you're desperate. But have you ever tried asking for help?" "No one helps someone like me," she shouted. "Now hand over your wallet before I lose my patience." With a resigned sigh, the man removed his watch, wallet, and phone. "My name is Ethan Cross. If you really need the money, then take it." Lily grabbed the items and ran. Her heart pounded as she disappeared into the shadows, hands trembling, not just from fear, but from a strange flicker of hope. She truly believed that was the last she'd ever see of the man. Lily thought the robbery would be left in the past. But the very next morning, while she was cooking porridge for Aunt Martha, her world flipped upside down. The door burst open, a strange man walked in, followed by two men in black suits. Before she could scream, a strong hand covered her mouth and dragged her away in a whirlwind of confusion and fear. When she came to, Lily found herself tied to a chair in a bright, luxurious room. Her head was spinning. Standing before her was the very man she had robbed the night before. "Ethan Cross, are you insane? You kidnapped me over a few dollars?" she yelled. Ethan leaned against a desk, hands in his pockets, calm as ever. "No, I don't want money. I need a wife." Lily's jaw dropped. "Excuse me? I have to get married immediately, for business reasons. You crossed me, so now I'm giving you a choice. Marry me or go to jail. And I won't just send you. Your aunt's coming too." Lily froze. Her heart raced. Aunt Martha wouldn't survive prison, and Lily had no way out. You have 1 week to decide, Ethan said, walking out. The week passed like a nightmare, and on the very last day, Lily nodded in defeat. Ethan picked her up in a sleek luxury car. When they arrived at the mansion, he said coldly, "Pick a room." "Really?" she asked, hopeful. "Yes, in my room. You can either sleep on the floor or build a pillow wall." Lily glared. "You're in..." Ethan smirked. "I'm your husband now. You better get used to it." From their very first night together, Lily made the boundaries clear. She stacked nearly a dozen pillows down the middle of the king-sized bed like a fortress. "Rules simple. No one crosses the line," she said firmly. Ethan glanced at the pillow wall and chuckled. "You think I'm dying to cuddle a cactus?" Lily shot him a glare. "Good. Keep your delusions to yourself." The next morning, while Ethan was reviewing documents in his office, Lily walked in carrying a large plastic basin full of clothes. "What the hell are you doing?" he asked, frowning. "Laundry," she replied plainly. "There's a washing machine." "I'm not used to machines. Hand washing is faster." "Don't turn my house into a laundromat," Ethan grumbled. "Our house, remember?" Lily smirked, stressing the word. The following days were filled with constant bickering, from Lily blasting pop music at 7 a.m. to Ethan complaining it ruined his classical piano mornings, from whether knives should be placed blade up or blade down in the sink to who washed the dishes first. Yet somewhere between all that arguing and eye-rolling, something began to shift. When Lily cooked dinner for the first time, Ethan stared at the food: chicken soup, fried fish, and warm white rice. "I don't eat street food," he muttered. "This isn't street food, and by the way, it's free. Eat it or starve," she said, arms crossed. Reluctantly, Ethan tried a bite, then another. Finally, he nodded subtly. "Not bad." "Not bad? I'm the top chef of my block," Lily grinned. "Just shut up and eat," Ethan replied, hiding a smile. That night, they still slept separated by a wall of pillows. But Ethan no longer minded her constant noise. She brought a sound he hadn't heard in years, the sound of a home. And Lily realized that inside this massive mansion, she didn't feel quite so alone anymore. But the most surprising moment came one evening when Ethan returned from work. The house was lit softly, the dining table set with candles, and a carrot cake sat proudly in the center. Lily stepped out from the kitchen holding a lighter. "Happy birthday, Ethan," she said softly. He froze. "How did you know?" "I found the date on one of your papers. Today's March 31st. Ethan sat down, looking at the table. Fried fish, vegetable soup, steaming rice, and the warm scent of carrot cake filled the air. "You made all this?" "Did you think I hired a caterer?" Lily scoffed. "Eat, even if it's bad. You better praise it." After a quiet pause, Ethan nodded. "It's good." For the first time, they shared a meal without bickering. That night, even though the pillow wall still stood between them, their hearts inched a little closer. As time passed, what Lily once called a forced joke slowly became a life she couldn't deny anymore. She found herself waiting for Ethan to come home each night. She cooked his favorite meals, knew when he needed strong coffee and when he simply needed a silent hug. And Ethan, the man who used to be cold as stone, now smiled when she nagged him, apologized when he was wrong, and most notably, stopped rebuilding the pillow wall. One evening, while Lily was washing dishes, Ethan walked up behind her and gently wrapped his arms around her waist. She flinched slightly. "What are you doing?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "I just wanted to hold you for a bit," he whispered. Lily froze. That kind of touch made her heartbeat race, and that scared her more than anything. Because deep down, she knew she had fallen in love with him. She had tried to keep everything within the bounds of paper, of logic, but her heart had gone rogue. That night, when Ethan pulled her close and kissed her, Lily didn't pull away. The kiss was slow, tender, but full of longing. And that night, they gave each other more than just their bodies. It was everything they had never dared to say aloud. But when morning came, reality returned. Lily lay still, watching the man beside her sleep, his hand still gently holding hers as if afraid to let go. She knew, if she stayed, she would love him too deeply to ever leave. And so, she had to leave before it was too late. The next morning, the sun filtered through the curtains, but her side of the bed was cold. When Ethan woke up, the bed was empty. No Lily, no sarcastic morning smirks, just a short note. "I'm sorry, I can't do this anymore." He froze. He tore through the mansion, called every staff member, checked every security camera. All confirmed the same truth. Lily had left. At dawn. But what struck Ethan first wasn't anger. It was fear. He didn't care about the wedding, the contract, or his reputation anymore. He just wanted her back. The woman who filled his cold mansion with laughter, warm meals, and a sense of real life. It didn't take long. Using every connection he had, Ethan tracked her down to a small countryside house where she was hiding with Aunt Martha. That evening, Ethan stood before the old wooden door, his hand clenched. He knocked 3 times. Lily opened it, and her heart stopped. When she saw him, "You shouldn't have come," she said, forcing her voice to stay cold. "And I'm not leaving," Ethan replied, his eyes never leaving hers. "I didn't come to scold you. I came to say, I love you, Lily." She stepped back, tears brimming in her eyes. "I ran because I'm terrified that if I stay, I'll love you too much and one day, I'll lose you." Ethan stepped forward, gently holding her hand. "I'm not going anywhere. No matter how many times you push me away, I'll come back, not because of a contract, but because I choose to love you. Every day, forever." Lily didn't respond to Ethan right away. She quietly closed the door and left him standing outside. The next morning, as she stepped out early to fetch water, she was startled to see Ethan curled up on the old wooden bench on the porch. His shirt was wrinkled, hair messy, but his eyes still held the same spark from the night before. "You slept out here all night?" she asked, a little unsettled. "Yeah, you didn't let me in, so I waited." Lily sighed and walked back inside. But Ethan didn't leave. Instead, he stayed. No promises, no flowers, no diamond rings, just action. He woke up early with her every morning to fetch water, washed clothes by hand under the scorching sun. The first time, he tore his shirt, got soap in his eyes, but laughed like a kid discovering hard work. "What are you doing?" Lily asked, watching him clumsily fold clothes. "Learning how to live with you," he answered without hesitation. He helped her cook, chopped vegetables, lit the wood stove, burning the dish 3 times in a row. He fetched rice, waded through the canal to pick herbs, mopped floors, and even fixed the squeaky door that had annoyed her for weeks. Lily looked at his muddy clothes and laughed. "You look like a soaked chicken." "But a chicken in love," Ethan replied casually. None of his actions were perfect, but they were real. He wasn't used to housework or manual labor, but he was good at softening her heart. Gradually, Lily stopped avoiding his gaze. She started waiting for him each morning, brewing coffee while he mopped the floor, teaching him the difference between lettuce and mint. When he messed up, she no longer scolded. She smiled. One afternoon, when Ethan accidentally spilled a basket of tomatoes across the yard, Lily knelt beside him, picking them up one by one. "You know," she whispered, "I used to believe no one would ever sacrifice anything for me." Ethan said nothing, but through his roughened hands, dirt-stained clothes, and unwavering eyes, he had already given her the answer. The day Lily decided to return to New York with Ethan, it was lightly raining. Aunt Martha held her hand, eyes glistening. "Are you sure?" Lily nodded. He didn't just talk, he proved it. Back in the city, they didn't rush into a grand wedding like before. This time, everything felt different, slower, more sincere, and deeply emotional. The ceremony took place in a small old church, attended only by close friends and a few family members. No stage lights, no fireworks, just Ethan's eyes as he watched Lily walk down the aisle. the eyes of a man seeing the one he'd waited for his entire life. "You look stunning," he whispered when she reached him. Lily smiled, eyes shining. "I know, but you're not too bad yourself." Their vows weren't extravagant, no fancy promises, no poetry, just raw, honest words that came straight from the heart. "I used to think I'd live alone forever," Ethan said. "Until you came into my life," loud, stubborn, and impossible to ignore. "And I used to believe no one would ever love a girl like me," Lily replied, "until you washed clothes with me under the sun." They laughed, then kissed as applause echoed through the church. A new chapter began, not because they had to, but because they chose each other. This time, for forever. A few months after the wedding, Lily suddenly fainted while preparing breakfast. Ethan panicked and rushed her to the hospital. He didn't leave her side as the doctor performed the checkup. Then came the soft, life-changing words, "Congratulations, you're going to be parents." Ethan froze for a second, then broke into laughter and pulled Lily into his arms. She was still in shock, eyes brimming with tears. They were going to have a baby. The months that followed were the most peaceful they had ever known. Ethan took care of Lily meticulously. Ginger porridge every morning, foot massages when she felt tired, and even fumbling through pregnancy books, mispronouncing every other word. The day baby Evelyn was born, Ethan cried like a child. He held Lily's hand tightly and whispered, "You've given me a family." Aunt Martha stood nearby, wiping tears. "You deserve this, Lily, all of it." Years passed. The once quiet mansion now echoed with laughter. Evelyn ran around endlessly, once climbing onto the table and shouting, "Mom, look! I'm standing on the world." Lily gasped, "Get down, you're giving me a heart attack." Ethan laughed from the side. "See that? She's just like you." In moments like that, Lily would look at Ethan, the man she once hated, once robbed, and now, the man who loved her beyond anything. One night, under the soft glow of the moon, they sat together on the balcony. Lily rested her head on his shoulder and asked quietly, "Do you ever regret it, choosing a poor, stubborn girl who once mugged you in the street?" Ethan tightened his grip on her hand. "If I could go back, I'd let you rob me even sooner." They both laughed. Their story wasn't perfect, but their love was. Not built on circumstances or contracts, but on two broken souls who chose each other, again and again, every day. And in a world full of uncertainty, that choice made all the difference. If this story touched your heart even just a little, don't forget to support us. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button to follow more unforgettable love stories, only on Noah's Stories. Got thoughts or feelings? Drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear your voice. Because here at Noah's Stories, every story has a soul. And maybe the next one will feel like it was written just for you.